calling in all the way from the frozen wasteland that is Canada, who says how to explain why it's important to talk about issues to apolitical people. Now, cool, you're on the line with Forrest and only Forrest. How are you doing today?
There we go. Shut up.
I'm good.
Cool. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You wanted to explain why it's important to talk about issues to people who aren't political. And I think that's a wonderful point. So you get as much of my time as you'd like until somebody donates money to make me shut up.
Yeah, I just basically want to know, I wasn't aware of my privilege like just few years ago, but then watching shows like yours, I understood what privilege is. So now when I talk about these things to my friends, they also enjoy those privileges and they don't want to talk about it. So and they ask me like, if you really want to change anything, go protest. Talking wouldn't change anything. So I don't have a good answer to like why should we keep talking about these things even if we can't join protest.
Yeah. I mean, they're right in a sense that talking on its own doesn't change anything. However, protesting on its own isn't going to change anything. The key is to change minds, and we change minds by talking to people. We talk with people by educating. When people are like, oh, you're preaching to the choir, well, that's how you get the choir to sing. And in order to get people to recognize that they have massive amounts of privilege that they can use, even if they are underprivileged in some other area, that having some area where you are privileged does not mean that you are like, the elite and that you're not, I have buckets of privilege, but also I'm a godless heathen in the United States. I'm sitting here and am marginalized in a number of areas, but I would need to use the privilege I do have to help bolster other people who are suffering more so that we can work together to educate people. And so while protesting is good, signing a petition may not change anything, protesting may not change anything, or they may all change something, but the most important thing is to change hearts and minds.
Yeah, that makes sense. So do you think there's still a point to talking to like apathetic or apolitical people, or do you think that's a waste of time?
It depends. I think you need to change the questions you ask. If you're talking to somebody who's apolitical or apathetic with regard to it, I think you need to ask them, don't you care about whether or not you have due process, which we're basically throwing out the window right now? Would you like to be deported without anybody knowing anything about it? They're just picking people up, shoving in a van and shipping them off to El Salvador. Do you care about how much you're going to pay in taxes? Do you care whether or not the roads work? Do you care whether or not we have universal basic income? Do you care whether or not we have healthcare? If you were to lose your job, you can point out to them that one of the biggest financial stumbling blocks to, for example, United States citizens is medical bills. That's number one or number two for bankruptcies. And do they care about those things? If you can find the thing that they care about and show how it might be a threat, I guarantee you the next thing that those apathetic people are going to do is say, yeah, but both sides are the same, so it won't matter. And everybody should already have the ammunition. Oh, I think I just got shut up.
Really quickly, I just want to be clear that when you're talking about why you should protest, I think what Matt said is really important, that don't you care about XYZ thing. What you said at the beginning of the call, Nakul, is that you protesting is the only way to affect change, is what you should be doing. You said something to that effect, and I don't think that's true at all. You can always call your representatives. You can always be calling your friends and family and talking to them, making sure that they're voting in the right way that actually helps other people. You could be spreading information online and doing campaigns. So you could be even going door to door and spreading information if you really wanted to. You could be phone banking for local politicians. You could be door knocking for local politicians. You could do all sorts of things in all sorts of ways that don't involve going out and getting into a protest, which can be dangerous and isn't possible for a lot of people who have whatever disability that disallows them from going outside. So there's a lot of things that you could be doing. And the key thing is that apathy is the biggest privilege, and it just demonstrates that you are not being hurt. At this moment, it is very unlikely that I am going to be rounded up and deported without due process. Very unlikely, unless Stephen Miller gets his way, because he just said that they're trying to get rid of the writ of habeas corpus, which here in America is basically the check to see if you are being held unjustly. Without the writ of habeas corpus, there's no way to stop the government from detaining you indefinitely without trial, without even having a charge, literally just like Kafka. Like you can just be rounded up. We don't have to tell you why we're arresting you. We don't have to give you a trial.
I'm sorry, you can shut up now.
Nakul, I hope that we've been a little bit helpful in just like encouraging you to be more politically active in general, and tell your friends to be as well, because apathy is the extreme privilege. If you are comfortable enough to not get up off the couch and care a little bit, and at least share some stuff, make a post, say something, call your representatives. It's uncomfortable, but it's worth it. Then you are extremely privileged, and all you're telling to all the people who are very scared right now is that they don't matter to you enough to discomfort yourself a tiny bit, and that fucking sucks.